My name's Idris. I took $20,000 worth of payouts last month in November. We have $11,000 floating profit, so 31K made last month. In November, we've been trading things like US30, like NASDAQ, like gold. We've been using the dollar index to give us confirmation and provide confluence on pairs like cable and fiber. We're going to use those same pairs on that watch list to demonstrate what we're looking at this month in December. We have first, second and third week of good trading volume, I imagine, and then things are going to go slightly quieter. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, check out the description below, get access to all of our socials and recommendations. Take value from this video, use what we kind of use and analyze to maybe give yourselves more confluence to make your own trade-based decisions. And if you've got any comments or thoughts, do make sure you comment below and we can get back to you. We're going to run through the charts and the watch list video, or the watch list pairs that we were trading last month, the same pairs that we're going to be continuing to trade this month. So a weekly watch list video, we're going to cover the dollar index, stock indices, etc. Gold commodities, we're going to trade or cover GJ, EJ, UJ, and a couple of cryptos that are on there as well. You guys obviously that follow our socials, our YouTube channel, our Telegram group, you'll see these are always being blasted in the members group everywhere and every day, but also a handful in our free group as well. So we'll start off with the dollar index, and this video will certainly be shorter than the one of last week. We're looking for this break of support on the dollar index. We've got a bit of an inverted structure here, and this 106 handle is the kind of handle that we're looking to reject. So we broke south of that zone. We're looking for the kind of subsequent pullback, and then we're simply looking to capitalize on the move next, which is going to be to the downside. So we'll just measure this across. We'll go like so. That's the daily. We'll check the 8 hour. That's a swing high, and this is the swing low. We're looking for somewhere, maybe even in the region of 106.5. So ignore this red zone for all the time being. We're just kind of waiting for this exhaustion. We've marked on 106.300. Following the break, there was the retest, in fact, but then we gapped down again, and then we've yet to actually hit that zone, but we have seen 106. So we're just waiting a bit longer on this one, but we're certainly expecting the dollar to fall. And then we've also seen the likes of US30 climb to 45k and US 100 up towards that 21k as well. So with US30, we obviously want to be following this 45k psychological price. It could be a point of rejection, so certainly psychological numbers, 45k psych hold number. We've also got all-time high price, and then we just want to look for some lower time frame structure breaks. So again, we don't know how much mileage to the downside this might have, but it might have some, and if it does come, it'll often come very, very quickly and very aggressively. Now this 45k, certainly if we're looking at this level here, we're kind of closing in and around that all-time high wick price. So it's certainly food for thought. We also have a nice wick, and then we've closed, south of 45k, which is certainly something to note. If we look at 4 hour, certainly under 45k, and again, if we look at the daily, we're certainly under 45k. So that's a good signal. That's a good sign. So we're certainly looking to see if we can capitalize on some shorts on this instrument next week, or this week coming forward, week commencing the 2nd of December. We also had a bit of a struggle, I'd say, with the likes of US 100 NASDAQ, and we've kind of understood what we're looking to do, and we've seen that unfold, but we haven't had the luck with our stop loss positioning, and that's just merely the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you can't catch everything, you can't measure everything, and you can't always be catch pinpoint entries, but also pinpoint stops. We obviously have our stops below certain structure prices, and that's all we can do. If that's all the information we have, that's all we can really allow for. But you can see we have kind of wicked down, and then we've closed, and then we've taken off. You can see here again, we've closed in and above our zone for longs, but we have wicked and punctured on 1, 2, 3 occasions. So this first one, unfortunately, we weren't able to catch it because markets gapped up. So what we were expecting happened, but when we came back down, that's happened again. We've wicked, and then we've taken off for 3.4R. We missed the 4R, and again, this is unfolding at the moment, and we're currently seeing as much as 2R, but again, the wick, we've closed, support is held. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. We are actually looking for potential shorts from 21k, so we've got an alert set here. I'm just going to remove all of this now as we're into this new week, and we're going to be looking at this 25k price. So if we do annotate 21k, getting Dow Jones and 21k, US 30 mixed up, sell zone. So that's certainly something that we could consider 21k, and that would probably be, you know, with any luck, that would hopefully be one of those kind of pinpoint wick into that zone liquidity and then short. So we'll see what happens here. But again, if we are looking to, you know, cover our stops, we're looking to cover this supply here. So what do we want to do? We want to simply annotate this. This is our supply. And again, like I was saying before, this is the information we have to the left of us. You know, we're covering that. We've got 100 points here, which is quite significant. We might want to arrange tighter stops when it comes to this price. For example, if price comes up, and then we wick slightly just beyond, and then we retest like that, we could simply look, excuse the arrows, awful drawings here, but we could simply look to, you know, use that information and then tighten our stops just to cover how high we protrude that area of resistance, that 21k. So that's certainly on the cards. That's looking good and attractive. Gold has been really, really good to us. So gold has been very, very good to us. In fact, this monster here from last week, again, market open gapped, and then we were just very one directional. We then came back into the zone here, and then we saw longs from around 26.10, so $2,610 per ounce. And then again, we were looking for shorts at around 26.65, which is our previous TP target, which eventually happened on the Friday before them seeing rejections. So again, another setup that we shared and included in our members group. This is where it gets a bit funny, and again, with regards to the dollar index, if we are looking to see the dollar index sell off and continue some corrective play to the downside, we'd probably expect something like this on the dollar, Aussie dollar. So again, this is too big for us. This is simply too big for us. 84.6, 85 points really. That's far, far too big, but we want to try and play from this 065 handle. So the only thing we can really look to do is try and get entries as low as possible and then use, again, recent price to make something worthwhile. We may want to say 38, 40 points covers this kind of area here, which is the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday candle. So maybe that's the start of the reversal. So if we can come back down here, we've got, you know, 3 days of coverage of some sort. So again, it's something we'll have to tackle as we get into that area, as we get into that kind of move unfolding, but certainly food for thought. We shared this on a webinar that we held on Friday, 4 p.m. We talked about GBPUSD, and that's actually started to take off. So we've come into that first zone of 127.400, and that looks a little something like 1.1R. And now we're starting to correct a little bit. The eventual targets lay around 128.500, and we're kind of expecting that. So now we've broken this structure here, this 127 number. That's really significant. We might come back down. I'm not going to use the brush. I'm going to use the path tool because that gets a little bit messy, but we could actually see that entry again, and then we might break, and then price would look something similar to this. So certainly keep your eyes peeled for GBPUSD. You know, there's certainly some scope for upside potential there. Again, with the likes of EURUSD, we're lagging slightly behind, I would say. Once we break 106, I would say that's, you know, the area of interest for us here. So again, the same structure effectively as GBPUSD, but GBPUSD is just kind of unfolded that little bit more. And that's often something we use when we're annotating and analyzing. We're comparing GU, we're comparing GU to EU, so cable with fiber. Similarly, we're always comparing US30 with NASDAQ. And again, you know, one might move before the other, and that's okay if you miss this move because you can look for the same move on its kind of highly correlated pair. So there's absolutely no harm in that. And that's what we're simply looking to do here with fiber / EURUSD. And that would look something like this again when we come into this zone on the retest following that breakout. When we're coming back into this region, we want to see what happens and what we can do with our stops, because we might be able to tighten them and increase our reward potential, or we might have to open them up to see, right, we need more of a buffer because we don't want the same thing happening to what we saw on US30 with these wicks. Uncontrollable, it's sometimes just how it is, and we have to, and this is something I'm consciously trying to do and promote. When that happens, when we get wicked and then we lose our trade, we get eliminated from that position. There's so many times we see red and we don't actually think about the times that we need to be kind of grateful for the opportunities that we've had when we've triggered to the point and then reverse, and we've caught a massive trade without any drawdown. Similarly, the amount of times that we come up and we come like within points or 1 or 2 points of our stop and then we reverse. So, you know, it's a bit of a tough, you know, it's a bit of a low blow catching those wicks and then seeing the position unfold. But equally, let's try and reflect on the times that we do have a lot of drawdown on that position. You know, a lot of red, but then it reverses. All those points where it hits 21k, bang, and then straight away we reverse. So just again, you know, food for thought. Just try and shift that mindset of seeing red and revenge trading, FOMO, doubling down, martingale, and all that kind of stuff. GJ, so we were looking at GBP Japanese yen, Euro Japanese yen, and Aussie, USD Japanese yen. We're selling off 190 is probably the next region we're going to look at, which is again, we don't want to copy that price, we want to set an alert, so 190. And that's again a psychological price. You know, there's certainly a zone of interest there at 190. And we're just going to drag that and mark that up because, you know, that's where we're trading around, and that's what we want to try and see if there's anything we've got, any opportunities we can optimize, and so on and so forth. So certainly what we have here is demand. We've got a bit of support, a double bottom there. So, you know, we could certainly see something on GJ, you know, upside. Maybe we trade back up to 193. That would look something similar to this. But again, you know, we're off the ground there for 70 points. Stops again. What are we going to do? We're going to cover what's here to the left. So we've covered this wick here, and that's all we've got. And we haven't traded as low as this since September. So we've had October and November, 2 months. We haven't broken south of 190. So it's certainly something we could consider there. Similarly, what do we have here? We have Euro Japanese yen. So again, we've got that zone. We've got support. We're a little bit red here. But again, you know, the same principle applies. For me, GBP Japanese yen certainly would be the more attractive pair out of the two, just because we have a more significant support. We've already started to bounce, and we haven't got too much really marked up here. We've simply just got, you know, recent price, and we're using that in correlation with GJ. So again, we'll see what happens. But UJ, again, we know we're expecting and hoping the dollar to fall off, and the yen to gain strength somewhat, because we're seeing that across its peers. Now, we have more zones marked on, like I say, on GJ, and this is certainly what we want to try and establish a position on, but, you know, we'll have to see what unfolds, because 150 was, again, you know, quite a psychological price. However, you know, we're breaking that, and like I said before, if something starts to unfold on one pair, we could possibly expect that to happen on the other pairs. So seeing 150 break could lead us to think 190 might break. Euro USD or Euro Japanese yen is kind of trying to trade south of this zone again, but we still have some room to play. We have to wait and see what the markets do, where we go, if we gap and all that kind of stuff. With a little quick, you know, look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, we're still kind of exhausting around 100k, just under 100k. We came down to 91k, which again was, you know, almost 10% drop, or in fact it was about 9.1% drop in total. And then we've bounced again. So we'll see what happens. We're kind of exhausting, but again, you know, we have to just wait and see what happens. Euro or Ethereum's obviously taking off, and we were seeing a bit of exhaustion here. We were expecting a bit of downside. So again, something we need to remove and then, you know, reevaluate towards, you know, the next kind of point of interest really. And that looks something similar too. And again, this is why we had that, because we had a bit of supply there. 3,500 per token, so again a bit of a significant zone. The next zone will probably be around 4k. So 4k, what we'll probably do here is drag something along there. We'd annotate 4,000 USD and see what happens. Something like 40,000, that'd be incredible, wouldn't it? So like something like so. And then we'll just go from there and see what happens. So I hope this, you know, is of some value. Again, a bit of a recap from last week, a bit of a forecast of what we're expecting this week. We'll see what happens. Again, if you've got any queries, comments, suggestions on video ideas, do just drop a comment below. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn your notifications on, check out the other socials, read the description below, see our recommendations. Yeah, hope you have a blessed trading week, a good December, and we'll see you on the next one.